There's a dark truth behind abstracting in the amazing digital circus. We've all seen the crew go through chaos, mental breakdowns, and stress. But do we ever stop to ask the question why it happens? The reasoning behind it? I think I figured out the dark secret behind abstracting in the amazing digital circus. And it all comes back down to one character, Caine. Caine is the reason for abstractions. Before I can explain Caine's involvement, I have to first explain abstraction and how it occurs and how it is. Hello everyone, welcome back to Panzerverse, and on today's video we are going to be talking about abstraction within the amazing digital circus and how it's all part of Caine's plan. What is abstraction? Abstraction is where you reach your mental breaking point in the show. From stress and isolation, you begin to lose your original form and become a black being with colored spots. You lose control of yourself. You become a violent being. Except in one exception. If you were surrounded in a dark, black room, you become much more calm. You become much more, not in control, but less violent. This is how Caine was able to touch his wife for the last time. He was able to be with his wife in a normal environment, even when his wife abstracted. This is the reason why Caine locks up everyone that's abstracted into a dark room that's in a void. It's to make sure they don't destroy the circus. But there is one thing I want to add. Remember this for the rest of the video. When your mind is under stress, or in a fight or flight mode, your brain is more active. Remember these words because they're going to become important for the next part. But how does Caine cause abstractions? Caine causes the abstractions by his adventures. Think of the first couple adventures. They were all Caine's ideas. The cast always returned from them miserable. For example, remember in episode 1, Cosmo abstracted after being isolated in his room and hearing some comments that we later learn Ragatha said? Well, he abstracted, but the abstraction wasn't part of the adventure. But the adventure itself wasn't really that fun. No one really enjoyed it. They gained more stress out of it because they also saw Cosmo, abstract. And we also saw Caine did nothing about the abstraction. For someone who we later see is able to hear stuff when people call his name, the fact that he wasn't able to do anything about the abstraction beforehand kind of shows some evidence later on. Moving on to episode 2, we see when Gummy Goo comes back with Pomni, Caine immediately deletes it. And this traumatizes Pomni. Nothing is safe in the digital circus. And Pomni begins to go down more mentally. We also see in this episode, not directly from Caine, but Jax bullies Gangle, and Gangle starts to go down mentally also. Even, it's just a minor thing. Episode 4, on the other hand, is a different episode. This was an adventure that was partially suggested by Gangle. And on this adventure, we see this support our theory. Caine can influence the minds of the cast. We also see another piece of evidence of Caine trying to weaken the mental state of the cast. When Ragatha is frustrated with the stupid sauce bottle, she gets some spilled on her, making her stupid. On paper, that makes sense. The sauce is supposed to make her stupid. Think about it this way. If Caine can only influence you when you're stressed or in distress, it makes sense for the stupid sauce to work on Ragatha. When Ragatha was trying to use the stupid sauce, she was frustrated. She was a bit pissed off. Her mental state wasn't fully happy or in control. So it kind of makes sense. Moving on to episode 5, the cast gets to choose their own adventures. And everyone enjoys their adventures except Jax, who gets humiliated with everyone voting to put him in a maid costume and him becoming vegan. This also shows Caine can influence them via votes, but also Jax was also distressed during this time. But when they all go to the softball adventure, that was an idea created by Caine. Ended up becoming miserable and more distressed with that adventure than they were with the other adventures that they went through. But in this episode, we see the mental decline of Jax go more into overdrive. And we also see the seeds of Abel in this episode clearly. Moving on to episode 6, the cast has a duo battle royale with guns. They all connect with each other and enjoy the adventure, but in the end, after Pomni and Jax have their conversation, where Jax starts to lose himself mentally in the bathroom, showing the first signs of abstraction. This leads to Caine's 3D chess master plan. Caine has no adventure planned for episode 7, and the cast meets with Abel, who tells them all there's a way to escape the digital circus. Previously, no one tried to escape after episode 1 and 2 because there was no way to get out, but they were given hope that there could be a way out of the circus. Meanwhile, while Abel, Ragatha, and Pomni are up doing their talking, we see Jax in his room all alone. We see him isolated, and we see him go down a dark mental path. He starts the process of abstracting, but Pomni arrives in the nick of time, asks Jax about the keys. And what this does is Jax has to open the door, and after giving the keys, Pomni tells Jax to go with her. During this time, Jax talks about how this is just an adventure from Caine. It's not real, there's no escape from the circus. Abel then tells everyone Caine's purpose as an AI is to keep their minds active. Remember this word. They all go to the main room with the buttons. Jax loses all control and presses the button to stay in the circus. Then it's revealed Caine planned this all as an adventure. There is no escape, causing Jax to break down, saying he was right all along. And the rest of the crew is in distress because they don't know what is real, what is fake, was what everything Abel said true or false. Forgot to also mention Abel caused some minor distrust between the cast and Kinger. But why would Caine cause them to abstract? Well, this has one simple reason. Remember how I said that if you're under distress, your mind is more active? Caine's goal is to keep their mind active. What if abstraction is a form of permanent mind activity? How do you make your mind more active? Well, there's a permanent solution, abstraction. And I talked to someone who's a psychologist, and they basically confirmed, hey, if your mind is under distress, you have more activity than if your mind was happy. This explains why Caine's adventures are designed to be miserable. Abstraction is a form of a permanent active mind. Caine might be doing this because CNA programmed him to do it. But why else could Caine be doing it? Maybe it is required to maintain the circus. If the circus wants to expand, you need more power from this. Maybe it's Caine doing it as revenge for them hating on his adventures, or maybe he's truly evil. This is a question we still do not know. Why would Caine be doing this? The thing we have to know is that Caine has a lot to do with the abstractions and is the cause of them. And remember, Caine has the power to influence their minds and is most likely the reason for them to abstract. But that's just my theory, people. My theory is simple. I believe Caine has the ability to cause the abstractions and wants to cause them to simply achieve the goal of keeping everyone's mind active. But that's just my thoughts, people. I want to know all of your thoughts down in the comments down below. What is Caine's motive behind it? Is it to simply keep their minds active, or is it some other motive? And if I'm wrong about anything, please correct me down in the comments below. I will put down in the comments all the evidence that I used, basically my notes that I took during the entire thing. That's all I have here for you today, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to Panzerverse. Please like and subscribe, especially comment down below. It helps out the channel a lot. I will see you all next time, and you may proceed to do your outro.
Well, you all heard from the man himself. He wants a damn girlfriend, so you better subscribe to help get him a girlfriend. Well, I hope to see you all later, and hope to see you all back on Panzerverse soon.